Hello, hello. We'll get started shortly. Just gotta pour out my tea. Be right back. Greetings. I am back. The game is not currently outputting any sound, so prepare your volume controls. It might be loud, I don't know. Hopefully, we'll be able to play a little bit more today than last time. I made sure not to eat anything that was of questionable expiry date, so uh, hopefully that won't be a problem this time around. Alright, let's see. So they want me to put in the current time again. It's currently 8:18, and for some reason this... Okay, well now it's taking controller input. It wasn't for a moment. Eating only good food, yeah. Alright, let's go. Congratulations! I've made it into your test. Wait, what is this? Hang on, hang on. Wait, this is new. Before we get started, can I just say something? Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you've booted up the game. A lot of people don't take that step seriously. They just leave the clock set at 12 o'clock and call it a day. I don't even remember like the clock step in the original game, so I don't know what this is about. But you're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. That's how I know you care about this experience. You're paying attention. I don't even have any way of knowing if the times you're setting are correct. That's a lie. They can easily query system time, unless they're saying that I could be lying. I could have modified my system time to be incorrect, I guess. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see the screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whichever time you want, even if it's not the correct time. You've earned it. Alright, I'll let you get back to the video game now. Okay. Do people have a, is there such thing as a favorite time? Also, let me move the chat. Go. I didn't realize that, like, covered up the options here. Or 20 for the weed junkies. Oh, yo, there was a video on the important videos playlist. Some kid who's like definitely high on something. They're like super excited about it being 420. By the way, if you guys have not seen the important videos playlist, it is a very important piece of internet history. I highly recommend you check it out. There are many things in there that will explain many other things for you as you live on the internet. Um, I don't know how else to really describe it. It's just integral. Alright, give me just a sec here. Oh, tea's still too hot to drink. Never mind. Alright. Um, what did we get last time? Let me check my achievements too. I don't know if I got anything new. Okay, we still just have the 3 achievements. One is for getting any other achievement. One is for trying to jump, and the other is for the door 430 thing. We do have a couple of the endings, but we want to get at like the new content. I think everything I've done so far is old. I don't know how we're gonna determine what's new and old or how to tell what's
This
new.
is the story.
Whatever. Don't care about Stanley.
All of his co-workers were gone.
I can't jump out the
What
window
could it
though.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe there's like a door I missed. Also, what's this? Knowing your city. Before you can possibly know where to begin your new street vending operation, you first have to know your city. I'll use Georgetown as an example in this book. But in order to really get knowledge, it's best to go explore. Yeah, I don't like putting milk in my coffee. I'll admit, I don't understand people who who refuse to drink coffee without milk in it. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a thing people do. I think it's
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
the only thing I can think of is like people maybe just really dislike that bitter taste of coffee, and milk makes it bland enough to, oh, what the? I suppose that's where the new content is. What do you think? I'm like, where's the new content? There's a door that says new content. Oh.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Oh my god. Alright, we're headed to the new content. I mean, the old content is also very good. But this is what I'm here for.
Thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Thank you.
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Ow.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley
More
Parable,
game.
delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Are the papers new? 5th annual subcommittee meeting of internal. Yeah, that's an old paper. Although, what if I just go back in here? No? No? Nothing? By the way, you might hear like it's storming outside. I don't know if my mic's picking it up at all.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Was that door always there, or did it like maybe it required you to get an ending before it would
I
show
have
up?
to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley.
Give me the content.
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle?
Oh, we can jump! We can't jump unless we're inside the circle. Alright, let's do all the jumps.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Surely. Oh, I can't jump anymore. That's just literally how many jumps you have. That wasn't instruction telling me to jump that many times. That was, this is the limit of the number of jumps you have. Okay.
Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Keep dry. Thank you for enjoying the new content.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore."
It's
what
true.
quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Oh, they force reset me. Oh. But this is different. I mean, I'm still in my office, but this is different also. I could have sworn you can like just type on this. Maybe not. That's the short history of Turkish something. Oh hey, it's a photo of what the old office looked like, but we're not actually there. Can't open that door. This is the copier.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Should I go in the vent? Nah.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
Aw, he was insulted.
No, never mind. You're not a dork.
I was hoping for some more. Can't open that door anymore. Should I go in the vent? I kind of want to see what happens if I don't go in the vent. The new content door is locked! Alright, I want new content, so I'm gonna go in the vent. Would you say, Canaris, that you're a coffee nut?
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new UltraDeluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it.
Holy
Just
shit.
our little secret. Take a look.
Oh, it's so cool!
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone
2013.
remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
This looks like Office Works. Wow. British Academy of Film and Television Arts. Awarded to Stanley Parable. Not The Last of Us or anything like that. Postcards. 2013. The Stanley Parable, the mind control facility. Our first kiss, my first car. The release of Stanley Parable in 2013. Yo, it's the Steam page! In Russian, it looks like. I don't actually speak Russian, so I cannot confirm, but it's definitely not English. The original. Linguists identify 15,000-year-old ultra-conserved words. Okay, 6 components of a great corporate culture. I wish they had a URL. I would have checked it out. Trip down memory lane. Smile, because it happened. How's this being displayed? They probably just set up like a local web server to like put it up and then just erase whatever was in the URL bar. Oh, it's the demo. I never actually played the demo. It is impossible to get this achievement. Fun fact about this achievement, I think if it's the achievement I'm thinking of anyway, the way this actually started was the developer would actually change the conditions to getting this achievement whenever they found out someone got the achievement. People, it was like a game of cat and mouse for a while. Until people sort of ruined the game, I guess, and they found like the debug flag that they could just call in the game to just call to get the achievement, then the developer stopped bothering. That's actually a pretty neat thing. I thought this was don't play for 10 years. I think this achievement is in this game too. Let me see. Yeah, this one is super good. Don't go outside. Don't play the Stanley Parable for 10 years. Do I have it? I don't know actually. Let me see. I mean, I haven't. You still have to like launch the game. Last time I launched the Stanley Parable was June 17, 2015. So, yeah, if I were to log in, open the game, I would get that achievement. Yep. I don't have it, but I could if I opened the game. Cool. 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 New video game releasing today. Wait, was this seriously a New York Times? I highly doubt it. Stanley Parable deals tough choices. Neener, neener. In loving memory, little Stanley. Oh no, is this the developer's hamster? Aw, it's so sad.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com.
Destructoid.com
writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Yeah, I saw the shares are 0. I'm pretty sure this is just like it's not an actual like screenshot or anything like that. Oh, is there actually a Google Plus share? No, there isn't. It's also 0. You probably looked at the +1 because that's actually what the icon looks like. Or looked like. Google Plus is no longer a thing. Yeah. Actually, you know, now that I think about it, I haven't actually seen like these sorts of share buttons in a really long time. I don't know if they still use them. I have a feeling that like I think what web design has changed over to is using like the share icon, you know, like the 3 dots connected by a line, by an angular line. I think they just kind of hide all of these sorts of buttons that are specific to a particular social network to that one button. Oh, or maybe it's uBlock. Yes, I have used an ad blocker for a very long time. I don't know. Alright, now we've got a branching path. We could go up. Nostalgic. It was good. We could go up or down the stairs. Memory zone maintenance. Oh, okay. Oh, this is the food truck one. The original remake. Person of the Year. The swervy arrow, or the box with an arrow pointing up out of it. Oh, the box with an arrow pointing up. Is that a share button? I've always seen that as like, well, it depends. If it's like angular pointing up right, that's like pop out or something like that. The one that's just pointing up, that one's like a download button, isn't it? Oh, okay. I must be thinking of the download button and you're thinking of something that looks similar. What is this? This must be like dev tools, I don't know. Cool. I guess I didn't actually go to the particular ending that like sort of this game is referencing to, or I didn't go to a lot of the endings obviously, but some of the endings have like lead you to a I guess like a museum of sorts. So like there's a museum of Stanley Parable within the Stanley Parable. Like not like where we're standing currently, but like in the original content of the game, there's actually like an in-game museum of itself. They've also been referencing like the mind control facility, like that's what this is, because one of the endings is like, oh well, actually, you see all those little screens in that photo there? That's because the game is like mind controlling all of its players, basically. So it was a very, very meta game. Very, very cool. Oh, hey, look, there's Portal. Why? Why is there Portal in here? Was there a Portal element in the original Stanley Parable content? I don't remember. I think there was. Yeah, there's the mind control facility. We can go once we're like, if the game ever puts us back to the original starting point, we can go through to that ending if you'd like. I don't remember the car thing. There's a lot I don't remember about the game. It has been like 7 years for me. People play games because of what they can do inside them, and your game is very good at letting them know they can't do anything. Literally anything. Oh, I thought these were stairs.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com.
Oh.
The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content.
The bad.
It just needed
Nothing.
to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
I think that's a that's an edit. Unfortunately, the narrator in her head isn't nearly as witty as the one in the Stanley Parable. Very good. Oh, very good. Yeah, alright. What's this? Repeatable carpet textures. Whoa! Carpet textures? No way! I'm assuming... the serious room. Why can't we go through here? Let me go into the serious room, okay? No serious room allowed. Can't open that door. I guess we're just going back this way.
These were simpler times, Stanley.
Oh, okay.
But I wouldn't give
downstairs.
to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
It's down here. Cold drinks. Kind of cold drinks. Water. There's a grape thing. There's a cola thing. There's a Sprite thing. I don't know what the yellow one is. Lemon soda or something.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years.
Oh
I can't even
no.
imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely
Steam
these reviews were
reviews.
glowing as well, weren't they?
Surely.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny.
Wait, what was that? Was it like Buglivia? I need to find that review. Hold on. Hold on, we're going in deep. Where is it? Alright, we've got the original Stanley Parable. Oh, here. Wrong screen. Which screen? Okay. Yeah, let's go find it. I want to find it. What was it? Like Buglivia or something? Fuck. It was a negative review. Gosh, what do we even... Okay, it was like they played like 3 hours, right? So let's go like here. How many reviews do we still have? Wait, what was the username? I can't actually go back to look. I thought it was like Buglivia, but I might have misread it. Oh, we have to go through this interface actually. Negative only. What if I just like scroll to make it load a bunch and then we'll like just search the name? It's Buglivia? Okay. We gotta find Buglivia's review. Buglivia, where are you? How do I find it? No, that's not what I want. You found it? Oh shit. Can you link it? Hello, Buglivia. Oh, is this it? Oh. Larvesta. We must find the original one, it's important. In case you couldn't see that, because my screen's pretty small. This right here, it's fake. So let's look for it. I guess what you do is you search for the user Larvesta, right? How do you even find people? Yeah, this is like some guy named Nick Steam, so I don't even know how you like find people, honestly. How do you find people? Search for people, Larvesta. Larvesta. They, But clearly it's not a new review. Oh, you used Google. I guess that would work. Hey, look at that. This is the one. Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. The individual paths themselves are also not very fun, not offering much to do throughout each path and requiring some rather tedious nonsense to get to certain endings. I cannot recommend this game to anyone, even as a so bad it's good game, as you'll more than likely wind up bored by your third or fourth playthrough. Damn, Larvesta. Look at all the people who found it funny. Probably all these people who like went back to like look at this. Also, the hours played is not what was shown in the game. in the game, I think it was like 2 hours or something. So the GameSpot review is unedited? Really? Mm-hmm. 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 Wait. What? This is real too. What? Yo, that's sick. That's actually pretty awesome. Good job, Carolyn Petit. Alright. Wonder if she edited her bio after that? I don't know. I feel like that'd require some... She'd have to have done it very quickly. It's only been up for a couple days. Anyway, that was cool. A nice little adventure. Let's go back to the game. Whoa. That is an actual storm on my end. Can you hear that? The thing with like the weather recently in my area, it's been like it has been getting warmer on average, but um the way the weather has generally worked out is it like gets super hot and humid and then it starts pouring like this basically every other day and then it gets frigid again. So it's been storming like quite frequently here.
Hey, I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Zeus ate some bad rice. Dude, I'm not making that mistake again. I've never had an issue with rice giving me problems before, but 2 days ago, that was the first time. It's the first time for everything, right? And I feel like I've eaten rice that was about that old before and not had issues, but maybe I just got lucky. I don't know. Yo, now this is in-game storming. Okay? This is in-game. This is not like my IRL storm that was happening just a moment ago. This is in-game. Like if I press pause, it stops. This is in-game. Kind of funny. Oh shit,
Okay, let's
dude.
see what this one's.
Wait, this one is Noodles Chaff. Alright, I'm gonna write this down. Noodles Chaff. Is it Noodles Chaff? Noodles Chaff. Alright. That's the one.
While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with.
Alright, let's go look for Noodles Chaff. Noodles Chaff Stanley Parable Review. Let's go, Google, find it for me. Oh shit, this is the original guy. Although it shows that they posted the review 2 days ago. But the user ID is the same. But because of the date stamp, I think it's probably fake. Yeah, that's an L. Oh, sorry, I'm showing the wrong screen. But yeah, in the URL there's an L or an I ambiguous, but if I go in, delete it, and type an L, it gets me the same thing. Oh, in-game? Let's see.
You can't know how much fluff I cut from the
I mean,
game to
it's
get
like
it
a
to fill
goat
as
picture
light an
too.
area as it, well, I always thought it did, but maybe.
It's just okay. So 3.1 hours on record. It's possible they tried again, right? It's not less than 3.1 hours, so it's possible. Just this is the part that seems off. Oh, actually, I don't really feel comfortable showing my Google searches because they try to do like geolocation shit sometimes. I definitely don't want to show like the actual Google search results. I don't know how to turn it off either. I'm gonna put a quote around the name. Yeah, putting a quote around the name only gives me 3 results. One from one with this link to this review, another from 4chan from about 22 hours ago, and another from what I assume is just another language version of Steam's website. Yeah, I actually don't even know what language this is. What is this? What language is this? Magaza Topluluk. uh Turkish. Ah. But yeah, that was one of the results I got. You found a Steam profile that used to go by this name until 2013. Well, the thing is, that review was posted in 2016. So that still would not check out. I think this is the one. I mean, this bugs me, but there's no. Oh, you know what I can do? Wayback Machine. Hit me. Go to saved one time. Oh, saved one time. Today. It's today. So yeah, nah. This is it. Don't got nothing else. Alright, back to the game.
It wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
In-game storm. I kind of wonder as well. Like, I get that these reviews are public, but I wonder if there's like, if the developer maybe reached out to any of these users to ask them about whether they'd be okay with him taking screenshots and putting them into the new game. But then why would the developer reach out to people who didn't like his game? Oh no. I have accidentally found a soft lock. This is really dumb. No fucking way! Oh no! Hey, for real? Are you for real, video game? Come on. Oh my god. Time to leave a bad review. Got stuck behind a fucking rock and what do you call these things? Forklift? I'm not kidding though. I am actually stuck. You can see the control stick, right? I mean, I'd have it like sort of faded, but you can see it. I'm pushing up on the stick, and there's no jump button, so I clearly cannot jump over. Oh, I can crouch over it? Huh? What the fuck? Apparently, you can crouch to get over stuff. Alright, that's certainly not what I expected. Alright, not a soft lock, just a bit of a trap. Now that makes me very curious. Are there things that I thought I couldn't get over, but maybe I could by crouching? How very interesting. And also, like, I'm stuck here. So if I, like, actually go over proper... So I think... Oh, okay. I think I understand. When you begin to crouch, it's a little bit of time that it takes for your camera to go down. And I think in that period of time, your character actually lifts up from the ground to meet where the camera is and then goes down with the camera, if that makes sense, like your actor or whatever. So like I can't go over, and if I take a step back and then crouch, yeah, can't go over, but there's a tiny bit of a hop if I crouch while moving forward, and that lets me get over this tiny rock. That's actually super silly. That's video games for you, I guess. Vidya. It's also like so specific that I doubt that it's actually useful anywhere. Time to set up a crouch spam macro. It's like mini hopping, honestly. It's kind of funny though. Oh, another negative one.
What's this one got to say?
Cookie 9. Alright, wait, hold up. Let's look for Cookie 9 first. I'm gonna do the Google search without switching scene. Cookie 9, Stanley Parable, Steam. No, not Cookie. Cookie 9. Okay, the first result is actually a Reddit thread. I'm not actually even sure if I'm logged into Reddit on this computer. Oh, I am. Okay, I'm not gonna switch scene then. Is there really a review from Cookie 9 in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? This is what I'm looking at. Cookie 9 account apparently does exist, but it's a Chinese account, so I think what's likely is this is also probably an account that changed their name at some point. But unlike the first review, we don't have a good way to figure out what that account changed to. So yeah, no dice there. Alright, back to the game.
You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Is that a skip button? Oh, I can't go back.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people.
But I want to
And if
listen.
people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be.
That sounds
It's
like
the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and
Reminds me of
therefore,
a
by
Hitchhiker's
becoming
Guide
it
to the
is,
Galaxy.
so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah.
Is it truly looping?
We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture.
I don't know. Knowing this
It went
game,
on for nearly 10,000
I think
years,
even if
until
like
just
it
yesterday,
sounds like a
here and
loop,
there, forward and back, and
it might
never a
not
minute
actually
before
be one
lunchtime.
if we stick around for like
It's the only
3 of
thing
them.
there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah.
Maybe
We've
after
eaten too
10
much,
years.
it can't be just yet. No, until
If I weren't streaming this, I would actually just like walk away and let it play out and see if anything
becomes
happens.
impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years until just yesterday.
I mean, it might
Here
sound
and
the
there,
same.
forward
It
and
might
back,
be a loop
and
for
never a
like
moment before lunchtime.
some number of
Can't be.
counts.
It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably
Alright.
we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was... Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the words. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable.
Uh-oh, the
by
door
any means.
disappeared.
Well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait. How do we get out of here?
Yeah.
Where did the door go?
Where did the door
Wasn't there
go?
a door that led into this room?
Wasn't there a
I
door?
do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place?
It melted.
I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort.
became
or
a part of the
window or something like
wall.
that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take
I
any
tried.
action at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley.
There's no door.
There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine.
Cookie
I have
Nine.
no idea who they are.
We couldn't even find Cookie Nine's review.
I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter
Shall we
and to
push
change
it?
and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? Oh, Stanley, you're back.
Oh.
You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because
Oh,
maybe
I kind of
Stanley,
feel bad,
if you
but
can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me, When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying.
I don't know.
That I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here.
I mean, he spoke throughout all the original game too.
I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized.
There wasn't really a segment that's like equivalent to this,
right now, like I am
where he's
not
just
a work of
talking
fiction. I feel
forever.
as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast
Yeah, they
a shadow
definitely
onto the wall.
hate him
You
a
see
lot.
what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
Oh, he stopped. I can't believe it. He stopped talking. So should I push the button again? I'm kind of curious if he'll say more if we wait. Now I'll push it. Ready? Go.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for
Oh
one
my
entire
God.
year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities.
Oh my God.
I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment. And I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular.
I think he's gone insane.
For the longest time, this was my experience. And then, this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
So now he wishes for me to be able to experience the pain he feels. Alright, well, let's push the button. Silence. Also, was this always wilted? I wonder if he's intentionally being quiet or if he's actually gone. Like in-game lore-wise. It's been wilted for a while? Oh, I guess I haven't paid attention. Ah, there's also a clock here. Is this accurate to my clock? Nope. Actually, the clock, it's not ticking anymore. I remember it was ticking when we first entered the room. Alright, well. No narrator. No clock ticking. Push the button. Could that be the favorite time? Oh, maybe. What's the beeping? Can't find it. Oh, it's that. What is that? Well, I don't like it, so I'm gonna push the button.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point.
Oh, he's talking
It was meant
now.
to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves.
Oh,
we would
no.
turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression.
Oh,
And
no.
so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves, they couldn't help but leave a negative review on Steam. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks.
Someone
and
asked for help
whimsical
with the
humor,
prologue.
that it amused them
They probably
endlessly from
played them
start
very
to
hard.
finish. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic
Is he looping?
thumbs down review and make all of their
I think he's
pitiful demands.
looping.
But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us,
Yeah,
now he
he's
won't
looping.
shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising.
Oh, yeah, Canaris' review. I was gonna say that might be like a speedrunner's review.
Consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others.
Alright,
But of course,
ready?
absolutely anyone can leave.
Oh. Alright. Water? Was this always dripping? I'm also curious what that alarm was about. Okay, I think the only thing that's changed is the dripping water. Check that spot after.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never
Oh
the
shit.
end, is never the 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 end, is
Oh,
never
it's
the
dripping
end,
more.
Is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
It's probably
is
gonna
never the
flood.
End is never the end, 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 is never the end.
If you're wondering what this line is, this is like whenever we hit like a... The fuck? It's still making the sounds even with the games paused? Anyway, the lines he's saying are if you ever look at like the bottom right of the screen when the game is like doing a loading screen, it's like the extra text around it.
End is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the
The leak noise is from my roof.
end, is never the end, is never the end, is never
How come I only hear it when my in-game character is over here?
end, is never the 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 end.
Alright, the flooding's probably gonna have gotten worse. Oh yeah. It's actually just straight up raining now. Which pipe is this? It goes here? Into here? Okay. There's the water damage. How many years do you think it took for that to happen? This looks like it's from Nier. The pipe. Oh, okay, this wasn't gradual damage. That pipe burst. We just missed the moment of when that happened. Alright. Now that's gradual. And that looked like Nier. Still don't see a way out. Oh shit. How many years has it been now? Oh, yo, what happened to the potted plant? I guess I didn't even pay attention to that. That got fucking destroyed, I guess. Our clock is here. There's a rock on top of it. Oh. Well, all the vegetation's gone now. Clock is still covered up. The narrator has not been saying anything for a while. Alright, next one. What is that? Do you think it knows we're here? Whatever that is. Do you think that's the narrator? Alright, well, here we go. Oh shit. We're tilted. Holy fuck. I don't think the button functions anymore. I'm not getting a little reticle to be able to push it. So this must be the only thing we can do now is to come out here. We have to walk across the desert with the narrator? Oh. Oh, I guess that was an ending.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Was that all the new content? New content. Oh. I think there's more.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
The end is never, the end is... Yeah, you see that? New content. Alright.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud
So
to
dark.
announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh shit.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many
Time
different
to wake
directions.
up.
This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Very clear iMac.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than UltraDeluxe,
Two.
don't you think?
Two.
UltraDeluxe? What does it even mean?
Taste the
Stanley
sequel.
Parable 2. Now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented.
Dota
it
drink.
screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Two. Off painting K.TGA. Okay. Post-its. Off painting D.TGA. I guess office painting. With some assigned letter. What's this? Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Hey. Two. It's very two-some. Leverage holistic value. Sequential mind share. Wow. Look at the first place being put way down there. That's a bird. What's this say? Meeting at 2 p.m. Ha 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 ha. Sincerely, management. Sequel ideas. Stanley can throw axes. Stanley gets boons from gods. Artistic, intimate wife scene. Free roam mode. Dress up mode with microtransactions. Proper gameplay? Question mark. Nude Stanley. New York City. Jetpack. Fuel canisters? I get the Hades reference. New content is out. New content part 2 is in. The bold, boring sections of the chart. Cool red section of the chart. Oh, you think it might be God of War? It could be God of War. I haven't played it. I know it's definitely a thing in Hades, though. I don't know if I've ever actually streamed Hades. I've played it, though. What does this say? 1 + 1 is 2 minus 1 is 1 + 1 is 2 minus 1. Okay. There's a lot of twos. Every pause button is a Roman numeral 2. Holy shit! My mind is blown. Oh my god. Wow. Yo, it's the new mug. It's red. It's hot. It's new. Stanley Parable 2? That's a PowerPoint. It's a sideways equal sign? Oh my god. So it is. What is the E? Parable 2. Yeah, 2 plants. Nice. 2. Oh shit, wait, there's 2 of us? Wait, I don't like this. I don't like where this is going.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Number 2 chat. What the hell is this 2? This is also a monstrosity. Looks like a worm. 427. Oh shit, that's our office number! Ooh, this looks new, but I can't read it from this distance. No liquids. Yeah, I can't really read it, it's too far. What was that? Oh. Not all of these sequels are good. Crab, the ultimate sequel. Testing 2 printers at the same time. The Stanley Parable is the prequel to the Stanley Parable 2. Is the sequel to the Stanley Parable. Is the prequel to the Stanley Parable 2. Oh shit. Can't read that, it's too small. Another one of those. You are the sequel. I am a yellow mug. I will never... Can't actually read it. Not given a good angle. Holy shit. Valued investors. Wow. It's very 2. New features 2. Expo Hall 2. Oh my god. Oh shit, it's also stream day 2 of this game. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Oh dear. Hear your name in the game. Please no screenshots. 999. Red is the new orange. Oh, that storming is IRL. I was like, is it storming in the game again? Why? Oh, the jump circle is up there. Button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. I tried a screenshot, no screenshots. Actually, what was that? Do you hear that? What is that? It only started happening after I pushed the F12. It's so loud. Schween shaders. The reassurance bucket. Please, no screenshots. Oh shit, QR code. Hold on. I'm gonna take my phone out for this. Where does that website go to? I must find out. Oops. This goes to StanleyParable2.com. Alright, I'll just open that up in a browser. Let's go check it out. Oops. Yep, it loads, so it's real. Here, I mean, look at that. It's the StanleyParable2.com. A sequel, huh? This might be loud, I don't know.
Say there, Timmy. What's that you're enjoying? Why, it's breakfast, of course. Everyone loves breakfast. But did you know that breakfast is getting a sequel? That's right. It's called Lunch. And critics are rating that Lunch will be everything breakfast was and more. With a little luck, we may even get a trilogy series out of it. Say, you know what a sequel is, don't you, Timmy? Why, sequels are the world's way of clinging helplessly to the past. We all want more of the things we love, and we're all afraid of change, which is what makes sequels so popular. New ideas are dangerous to me, and they can lead to early aging. This eager-minded young thinker is just 29 years old. That's why we have sequels, to keep us couched in the familiar and the comfortable. Sequels are the bedrock of a healthy, functional society. And if you look around you, you'll find them everywhere you go. For instance, this man is developing a sequel to the automobile, which we'll call the vertical automobile. It's a useless, impractical invention, and in 2 days' time, the man will be publicly stoned to death for his crimes against gravity.
What?
Not all sequels are heretical nonsense, however. Here's the man who invented breathing, which is the sequel to suffocating and dying a slow death. Even your parents are getting a sequel, Timmy. Their names are Rob and Jessica, and they'll be taking care of you once your original parents are sent back in time to fight a secret war for the government. Sequels can be very fashionable. This young woman is wearing 5 shirts at once, which is the sequel to wearing 4 shirts at once. Look at
Jessica,
Becky over
yep.
there, wearing only 2 shirts at once. Get with the times, Becky. In fact, there is only one single thing in the world that isn't a sequel. It's this. We don't know what it is or why it exists, but it's the prequel from which all sequels are derived. And just like everything else, the Stanley Parable is getting a sequel too. We all know, of course, that it was your favorite game as a child. Don't you remember those long, lazy afternoons you spent playing the Stanley Parable? Watching your precious youth fritter away hour after hour. We've all wasted our childhoods in one way or another, and you were fortunate enough to get to waste yours on the Stanley Parable. But the Stanley Parable came out years ago, and you're not a child anymore. You're a man, which is like the sequel to a child. And as a man, you want manly things like taxes and cheating at baseball. You need a man's video game, Timmy. And that's why the Stanley Parable 2 will be perfect for you. It's as manly
I
as
suppose I
video
should full
games
screen
can
this.
get. And if you don't believe me, let's look at the burly hunk of a man who's responsible for the game. Huh, here he is, hard at work. His name is Gregory 8-Pack, and he's the cutting picture of raw, virile masculinity. Gregory is what we call the ideas guy, and he has the most important role on the team. The ideas guy tirelessly comes up with interesting concepts and then hands them off to the rest of the developers for the relatively simple job of turning those concepts into reality. For example, he's the one who picked up the phone and declared, "Someone ought to make a sequel to the Stanley Parable." Good work, Gregory. Go ahead and take the rest of the day off.
Good work, Gregory.
With the hard part out of the way, work on the game can now begin. The game's developers must answer a simple question. What makes a sequel in the first place? Well, it's simple. Sequels are an opportunity to correct the mistakes of their predecessors. We've all made mistakes, and we've all caused harm to someone we love in order to cover up our mistakes. When developing this particular sequel, it's important to start by thinking, what mistakes did the original Stanley Parable make? Well, first off, most of the pornography in the original game was stolen or pirated, and it's time we paid the licensing fees fair and square. Second, the Stanley Parable was
pornography?
catastrophic
What?
for this man named Leroy, whose personal information, including home address, social security number, and bank information, were all displayed prominently in multiple locations throughout the game. Although Leroy's money and identity were stolen, the fact remains that his personal information was the emotional core of the game and absolutely vital to a nuanced understanding of the story.
Yeah, that's true,
As
Clarence.
reparation for the harm we caused him, the sequel will contain a brief and insincere apology to Leroy, tucked deep within the game where it will be difficult to find.
It's okay, they paid him a lot of money, I'm
Finally,
sure.
the Stanley Parable made the mistake of leaking too many government secrets about the nature of the Time Wars. Without these intricate details of specific military tactics, the story is likely to make very little sense. But we've decided to remove them from the sequel in the interest of helping the state's efforts. We'll get to you yet, Time Dracula. Now then,
Yeah,
it's time to
it's a
set about
10-minute
constructing
video.
the Stanley Parable 2. Game development is a difficult and complex art, one which can only be fully understood by this race of hyper-intelligent child soldiers bred in laboratories. They begin by studying the original Stanley Parable. Here it is in its raw, untouched form, a specimen of technological perfection. Time to exploit it for profit. We begin by adding jokes. The Stanley Parable was most widely known for its stark lack of humor, bucking all conventional industry wisdom. It was a bold artist statement that its developers stood firmly behind. But in 2022, it's impossible to
Oh
reach
no,
even a
they ran
single
out of pencil
consumer
lead.
of video games without jokes of some kind. So very well, jokes it'll be. During its development, over 500 kiloliters of comedy will be funneled directly into the core of the Stanley Parable 2, creating jobs for hundreds of machine operators and producing 30,000 tons of pollutant chemical byproduct, which will be pumped directly into local lakes, rivers, and beautiful nature reserves like these all over
This
the
is
country.
crazy.
Another common complaint of the Stanley Parable is that there wasn't enough gameplay. And so for the sequel, its developers have gone to great lengths to fix
Oh, I remember this
problem.
ending.
Here we can see gameplay being printed onto sheets. Every video game contains as many as 1,000 sheets of gameplay, and several of the largest games ever made contain close to 1,500. On mobile devices, the gameplay sheets have to be printed smaller. For the Stanley Parable 2, as many as 35 new gameplay sheets are being printed, each of which must be delicately massaged by the hands of a child before being added into the game. This man is stealing gameplay sheets from the factory, which he likely intends to use for a personal project he's been developing in his spare time. A good public stoning will cure him of that inclination.
I'm getting big, like,
Let's check on
Hugbees
Gregory real
vibes
quick.
from this.
Ha! Still recovering from a hard day's work. Don't you move a muscle. Next up, it's time to blackmail the press. In a competitive market, blackmailing your local journalist can be one of the most effective methods of creating word-of-mouth buzz for your sequel.
Dude, there's
In
still
fact,
2 minutes
blackmail
left.
is the currency of social
Insane.
progress. From your neighborhood grocer to the teacher at your school to the man who helps you steal HBO, everyone responds to blackmail. And if you've never done it before, it's easy to practice at home on your friends and family. Simply follow the instructional pamphlet that your teacher hands out after the end of the film. And finally, there's one last tool at our disposal for making the sequel feel fresh and exciting, and that's packaging the game with collector's edition merchandise. If you order the Stanley Parable 2, you'll receive this cow's egg. A single egg will produce over 1,000 cows, which are, of course, the sequel to pigs. And there you have it. Everything there is to know about producing the Stanley Parable 2. Of course, you may know that there is also a game titled The Stanley Parable UltraDeluxe. So which game is the true sequel to the Stanley Parable? It's an excellent question, Billy. One which the child soldiers have been working round the clock to come up with an answer to. And after many weeks of diligent research, the conclusion they've reached is...
Those cows milk can make horses. How many sequels are there?
That it's more content for you to cram down your insatiable gullet. You don't want thoughtful and nuanced answers to complex questions, Billy. You just want to eat bubble gum and cheat at hopscotch. So get out there and consume. Do your civic duty and bully.
Yeah, it's Big Hug Piece style, but it's
Stanley
like
Parable 2 on every platform.
it's kind
Tell
of
your
like
friends to bully their parents as well.
another
It's
tier
through
of
community
ridiculousness.
efforts like these that the world comes together in harmony and connection. And it's only through this connection that we'll defeat Time Dracula once and for all. Don't let the
Time
time-traveling
Dracula.
vampires win. Buy the Stanley Parable 2 and pledge to support all sequels for today, tomorrow, and into the great unknowable beyond.
It's crazy. Wait. Billy. Huh? That's 3 years. Huh? Whatever. Do these do anything? Oh. Oh. Learn more takes you to thestanleyparable.com, which is, original website, I guess. I didn't even know that they had delay videos. That's kind of hilarious. Oh, time travel. Yeah, that's right. Time travel. Right. Okay. I don't see anything else on the website. Oh, there's a privacy policy, actually. It was down here. And this takes you to Crow's privacy policy, which I think is the publisher now. Yeah. Oh, legal mumbo jumbo, blah blah blah. Alright. Back to the game. That was an adventure, gotta say. This t-shirt is the best new feature. Nice. I saw the new content. Yo, I would wear that shirt. That's a good shirt. Like, even if it's not necessarily about the Stanley Parable. Right? You just put it on, people asking, what's the new content? These are very low res elevators. Epilogue. Okay, so they've given us a lot of choices, which is kind of crazy. Alright, let's go through this door. Hear your name in the game. I swear to God, if this reads off my Windows username, I will be mildly
For the Stanley
annoyed.
Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want?
But at least I didn't
And of
name
course,
myself
the
after
first and most
my real
obvious
name.
answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button, which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
It's not. It wouldn't be the first time I've seen a game that like reads reads the string that is your user profile.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified.
Oh.
Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature.
I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed
I
though.
promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Alright, I'm a person named
I
Jim.
want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
What if I'm not? Should I leave? What'll he do if I just start walking away? Do I even have a choice? I don't think I have a choice.
Jim.
Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
I wonder if... Wait, you're talking about time travel. Are they insinuating that every time we've restarted the game, we've traveled through time? And if that's the case, does that mean the narrator that we are encountering currently is the same narrator that had to endure eons of loneliness in the sealed room?
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time.
It's a bit
If
crazy
this were the only
right
new
now.
feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise,
Jim.
soon you'll start to lose
Jim.
all sense
Jim.
of who you
Jim.
actually are.
Jim. Jim.
Well, push it as many times as I could. Alright.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2.
You
That
heard
would actually
Jim
save
in
me
the
the work
game.
of finishing this feature.
Wait, when did this change? The button that says Jim. It's not the button that says your name. It's the button that says Jim. Wait, is Jim even on here? I guess it's probably the first one before Agatha, but it's cut off. I'll come back to this one, because it says epilogue. Semantic satiation, Jim. Jim. Have you gotten enough of Jim yet? How about now, Jim? Holy shit, this place is complicated. So why are these like... They're labeled so fucked up. Is this the exit? Must be the exit. I don't want to leave yet. 2 times New Roman. Road Geek Transport Heavy. These must be fonts, I guess. Rocket Pop Half Italic. Orbitron. Cool, cool. Can you find them? What is this?
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Look, it's Jim. Wow. Oh, I can't go back anymore.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Alright, free, new and easy achievement. Let's go. I'm gonna pull up my Steam thing so I can just see if whether I get it or not. Oh, hey, I got some achievements actually. I got an achievement that's just called achievement and it says this is an achievement. I don't actually know when I got it, so whoops. Oh well. Pull the lever, receive your new achievement, no more steps, it just works. I don't know why I'm not getting any pop-ups for when I get achievements, by the way.
Test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Test achievement.
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Pull me, please. Well, okay. So much for a free achievement.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Let's check out whatever's back here.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one.
432.
I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
I'm pressing F12 in case it thinks I'm trying to take screenshots. Also just gonna push the screenshot button, I guess. Do I have to choose one? He asked me a question, but I'm not giving it. Oh. Happy 12th birthday, Stepniece. Get well someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get well someday it is.
Oh. Okay.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on. Come now, You've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
What? Oh, I didn't realize all those balloons were up there too. What the I'm so confused. What is even going on? Oh, it's the reassurance bucket. Alright, let's go to the reinsurance bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort,
Dude, he's
even
crazy.
in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Oh my
I
god,
think
I'm
that just
scared.
holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
What the fuck? Okay, so I'm just carrying the bucket
Does anyone
around?
give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Yeah, the bucket stuck to me forever. Psychological horror was because of the bucket. Yup, I guess so. What is this? Time to death. So if we let time go forever, it's time like in this hurts my brain just looking at it. Opening, rim, depth infinite, surrounding area. Huh? Oh, okay. There's like a thing for science. Oh, this is the infinite hole. It just keeps going, they say. It even spins around. You know, this is a missed opportunity. They should have made the infinite hole. If they're gonna add a loop like that, they should have made the infinite hole write out the number 2 somehow. That's a missed opportunity. Shame on you, devs. After all that obsessive usage of the number 2, you chose not to do it here, or you forgot. Oh,
Stanley, here's an idea
I don't
that
like
I'm truly
that.
fond of. It's never been done before in a video game.
I don't like
This
that.
is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
I don't like that ceiling, those ceiling lights. It's the same type that was in the room where we were trapped in for an eternity. Okay. Well, down we go. Whee!
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
No, I want to see if there's more dialogue.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top.
Nope.
Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Nope. I'm gonna have some tea while I wait.
Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look,
So many cigarette butts.
Just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Nope. I'm not pushing it. I'm hanging out down here. You just say more stuff, please. Thanks. Sure, you'll say something else. Eventually, maybe. Maybe not right away. But soon. Oh. I just realized when I looked at my achievements earlier, I was looking at my achievements for the original Stanley Parable. As for my achievements in the Stanley Parable UltraDeluxe, I have not gotten any new achievements, and that's why there haven't been any pop-ups. Alright, so we'll hang out here for like maybe another 30 seconds, maybe a minute. Just kind of chill, see if the narrator says anything else. Surely you'll say something, right? Must. Also, just a moment. Okay. When I actually have my Steam thing up, I cover up OBS because I usually try and keep them on the same monitor. Because I usually don't have them both open at the same time. So I was just swapping that back. He's really not saying anything, huh? Okay, fine.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
I'm gonna jump down.
Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
Give him another 10-15 seconds before I do that. Curious. But yes, the hole did seem less deep.
Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability in marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my life. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
I can't.
Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
Nope.
Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Oh. Wow. At least we still have the bucket, yeah? What are all these sounds? Oh! It's going down. But why? What's happening? Whoa. Okay. Oh. Change your reality? I'm curious what other perceptions there are, though.
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up this space of mine. My head's stronger.
Yo, Hollowed.
You're no longer using up this space of mine.
Okay. Aha! Hoi! Where's the Rickroll? Might not be allowed via copyright, but you know. I just realized I was muted. We finally looped. So, are you ready to change your reality? What changed? Oh shit. Okay, just like different color schemes? Change yourself. Alright, ready? Oh, what the fuck? He's upside down! Oh shit!
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine.
Stanley? Stanley?
My head's
Stanley!
Oh,
Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment.
when did the narrator come back?
How about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
Descend again? Oh! Okay, just reset us. We still have the bucket though.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
I guess that was an ending. You heard Jim in the game. Exclusive, it's the button that says Jim. Is the button still gone, I wonder? Yeah, it's gone. Okay, so I guess it's like... It's, unlike the original game, it's like saving what we've done so far and all that. I mean, I guess we have the bucket, so that makes it obvious. We've done the mostly infinite hole. We haven't done the jump circle. Where's the jump circle? Oh, is this the jump circle?
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
Oh. Oh. Really? There's nothing else? It's just no jumps allowed anymore? Okay. Fine. Check out what's over here again. Just real quickly. Think it's empty. Yeah. Still blocked, so it saved that we picked up that collectible. This is for the achievement thing, which probably still doesn't work. I'll pull it anyway. Okay. That whole thing was really trippy. I liked it. If they added a mode where we could just like continuously change things in the circle, I would play with that for a good long while, I think. Oh, those are the decorations. Where haven't we been? I don't want to go to the exit, obviously. I guess there's a map somewhere, right? I think it's over here. Yeah, so we've done the jump circle. Obviously this is where the map is. For achievement, we've gone to that. Button, merch. What is merch? Oh, that's where we saw the website QR code. Settings World Champion. Okay, that's over here? Is it up there? You have to be up there. Mostly infinite jest. Okay. Oh, settings world champion. Oh, okay. Maybe. Settings. There's also something else. Hold on, let me see. I have to pull up Steam again. Okay, so Settings World Champion, there is an achievement called Settings World Champion, with the description, set all settings sliders in the menu to all available numbers. So I guess that's what we're doing now. We're at 72. Just gonna do each one of these. Alright, we'll bring it back to 72. Now mouse sensitivity, wow. This was at 5. Alright, camera sensitivity is 9. It wasn't scrolling that down for me. Alright. This is 80. This is certainly a very interesting achievement. I've never heard of anything like this before. Alright. Oh my god, there's more. Alright, doing all of these. So many. And then as I go into the audio settings too, oh no. So many settings. I can't actually hold it down like that either because it skips settings values. So I have to push it.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
think this is the music from the elevator in the boss's office. Alright. We're almost done audio. Next up is video. And I have no idea what's under controls. Maybe we should do controls first. Yeah, I'll do controls first. Okay, yep, that's it. Oh god. I really hope there isn't a speedrun category for this, because this would actually mean like the shittier monitor you have, the faster you'll be able to get through this, because you won't have as many refresh rate options to scroll through. That's fucked. Okay, I got the achievement. Settings World Champion. Let me in! Oh, hey, nice.
Aha! I can see you've gotten the Settings World Champion achievement. Well done.
Well
You've
done.
experienced every setting, traveled to all corners of the settings menu. There's nothing you haven't seen. So, just for you, in the Stanley Parable 2, I'm including an entirely new setting, something called bumpscosity. What exactly is bumpscosity? Well, I haven't quite figured that part out yet, but I just know that you'll be able to adjust it on some sort of slider, and that it'll be available from the settings menu. We'll sort the rest of the details out later. I hope you're looking forward to trying out every level of bumpscosity in the Stanley Parable 2.
Settings World. I have no idea what this does. Bumpscosity. Alright. Oh, hey, that's new. Wait, there was a sign here too. Mostly infinite hole. Okay. What's new? Oh, this is the epilogue staircase. I mean,
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
okay. So the epilogue staircase was just with a one voice line. I thought it was like gonna lead me out of here. Alright. So we got Settings World Champion. What other stuff is there? Let's see. The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket, Shore Office Decorations, Shore Epilogue, Shore Collectibles, Infinite Hole. Alright, let's leave. We got everything. Actually, I'm gonna go back to the Infinite Hole. I'm curious if that's still there. That's the one thing that I think might actually, like, still, I might still be able to interact with. That might, oh. Unless, of course, they just close the door on us. So, no more Infinite Hole. Alright, so I guess we're done with this segment. Lots of
All right,
red.
have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
New mug.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work.
It's
There's
going to
definitely
work.
a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley?
Oh, they put the infinite hole
This
inside
isn't
the
a
jump
coherent
circle.
video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Yeah. Alright. Let's wait this out a little bit. I want to see where we go down the hallway. Also, sipping some tea. This is like creepy.
This is the story.
Okay.
All of his
Oh.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Get well
Stanley
someday.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bucket!
Stanley picked up the bucket.
I can't put the bucket back. What? New content door is gone.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Alright, fine. We'll listen.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
This still looks the same. I think. Okay.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves
It's a
the
new
bucket.
line!
I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends?
Yes.
That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings.
Dude, they paid this guy so much money.
Over the years. Let him have it. Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Cool.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see? I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket.
Wait, that sticker was put under the other sticker.
Whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Okay. Is there more?
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
So is that it? I want him to come back for me. Come on, Mr. Narrator, please. I need more. Oh wait, like another 30 seconds. Okay. I guess that's it.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
I got me a Stanley. Oh, I can't open this? This is the way to the elevator. But I guess that's no longer available. Also notice that the doorknobs are like facing inwards towards each other.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
I'm curious if he'll just get mad and open the passageway anyway if we don't push the combo.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Alright. And
2845.
And
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
I think that's the old line. Now I'm also curious if I can just ride the elevator back up.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back
This
up?
is new.
When I was
Nice.
pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
I guess we're pushing the number 3 for no particular reason. I want to push it, the number
Here
3.
we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Well, he said, the number 3 is such a special button, I'm having the time of my life.
Hell no.
Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
No new lines? Okay, fine.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
What if I was just one more attempt away? Oh man, what if? Going back up.
No, 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 said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
Oh my god. This is beautiful. Alright, back to pushing the number 3.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
Certificate of pompousness, I think that's what that says. Texture's pretty low res though.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
Well, we're gonna go back up again. We must. Oh, nothing from the narrator? Oh, there we
Said
go.
Stanley, I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number
There's a
3
person.
meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the
There was a
eyes of
person
others.
there.
It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work.
Ah, okay. So we're back to this ending, but a little different, I guess, because of the
months, he
bucket.
advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
427-3333333.
One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true
3.
connection with
That's
another.
the magic number. Yes, it is. Is it the same file as Minecraft? I don't know. I don't really play Minecraft. It might just be a stock sound, though. Maybe they just happen to both use it. Oh, but this is from the original ending, so I guess they didn't update everything.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting,
Oh,
he was
no.
a failure. And in that moment, Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
That's so sad. What a sad ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I wonder if not taking the bucket changes anything. Oh wait, what the the stickers are here.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Stickers are there. What the Oh. This room is different. What? What? Oh shit. This caught me off guard. Not gonna. Oh shit! And they spilled coffee. Oh no! What monsters? I'm curious if they'll do
Stanley,
anything.
we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
Yeah, I know there was a figurine finders meeting, but I didn't actually expect it to be like so jarring, you know?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Hey, look at that.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about
Stanlerines.
Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Wow, I got a Stanlerine. Alright, we'll go to the boss's office, but we won't do the elevator thing. Oh, hey, this opens now. That's nice. I don't know why this opens now, though. Dude, this paper is like radioactive or something. It's so bright. Okay, that's not any different, so pretty much what I expected.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
The bucket knew. The bucket is what told us.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Man.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
We're 427 right there. That should show our office. Yep. And it is currently empty.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things
Pirate.
it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do?
It looks the same as my office.
These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Can I use the bucket for the leak? You know, that's a really good idea.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in
Oh, but the way to
self-conscious
get
control,
there...
Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter.
That was through the
His
new
one
content
friend in
door,
the
which doesn't
entire
exist
world.
anymore.
At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
I forget how this stuff worked, honestly. It's been so long.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over?
Was it?
Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and... What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Well then.
All
I
of
guess
his
that
coworkers
Stanley
were
was
gone.
dead.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place
okay.
to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Now, originally, the narrator gives you shit for sticking around here for too long.
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right, then walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
Thrilling indeed. What's this?
Perhaps this was where the bucket felt most truly at home. Here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home.
Okay.
Stanley decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
Alright. Let's move
But
on.
finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
Nope.
No, said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift. Oh.
Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Except we just jumped off, so, and that's not what the bucket said. The lights are on for that truck.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley,
shit.
How could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here?
Oh shit!
And what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please,
Whoa.
step in here for a moment.
Okay. Oh shit!
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay.
I'm going to answer incorrectly for every single one.
Item 1. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket.
Oh.
Not an actual bucket.
God damn it!
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Oh no! It's a 3D printed bucket! Wait, if you have a 3D printed bucket, does that make it not a
Is this
bucket?
a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket? you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
Oh. Oh my lord.
Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
No questions asked. That's just okay. Yep, that's a bucket.
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
What?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
What do you think? Should we say yes or no?
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Sure.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions.
Bucket doesn't even sound like a word
Now I'm
anymore.
somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go. What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear?
Because everything was a bucket. Oh no!
Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
That was good. Good ending.
My God, the bumpscosity in here is absolutely overwhelming. 1,000? You people have got to be nuts. How can you stand this much bumpscosity?
The bumpscosity. Wait, the pause menu's different. Wait. Oh my God.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him.
All right,
telling
we're
him
gonna go
that
through.
The employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Oh,
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
oh, I
Stanley
never
did not
noticed
question
that
why or how
before.
this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk.
How did he get over
but
there?
Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket
There's a
had
collectible
spoken to
over
him,
there, too.
and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Yeah, I'm curious how you get over there now. We'll figure it out later.
In here,
Said the bucket.
go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Okay. I remember there were endings like this, but I don't remember this ending specifically. Oh, there's a bucket.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man. Oh no.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Hey, look, it's a bucket. Bucket art. Is there anything else that, like, resembles a bucket? Jazz music. Press Y to ignore anyone in your life except for me.
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
I was gonna say, the bucket was, I didn't see it at first. You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley?
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Press A to go to... Go home to work to home to work to home.
Oh no. I'm having feelings. For the
Oh
bucket.
shit.
No, 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 no. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps, if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Alright, it's time to fuck the bucket.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it, or I'll...
Oh dear.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply... Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
Alright, we're gonna see if we can find our way to that
Stanley
figurine.
had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took
So,
the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room.
It's like
go
here.
somewhere else.
I don't think
The
I can
cargo
actually-
lift,
oh.
Yes, go there. Go to the cargo
oh,
lift.
okay, I can do this.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Whoa. Alright, well this is different. Bunch of cassettes. Narrator dialogue. Oh shit! It's all pre-recorded? I mean, of course it is, but... in lore...
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything.
It's the fucking bucket, man.
The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, Because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there? Camporata.
Is the narrator dead? You know, there's one thing about this that I absolutely did not expect. I did not think that the bucket would be so central to everything that's different about.
Someone was following Stanley.
Oh,
he was sure
fuck, that's
if he
different.
checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Who the fuck? Oh. Oh, fuck.
Good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was
Alright, I'm not
wrong.
going all the way down the hallway
Stanley
anymore.
took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
I'm going here though.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
What the fuck?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it. Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
It TM. Oh, I remember this. So obnoxious.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Why did the narrator say that Stanley's addicted to drugs and hookers? Oh no.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
Oh. Fuck.
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
What if I
Now
don't
listen to
wanna?
me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the bucket destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and go.
Whoa. Wow.
Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Dude, this shit's unhinged. I forgot how crazy this game got. Alright, it's getting pretty late, so we'll do one more.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers.
fucking-
Stanley thought how amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
He's adding variety. I don't like it.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be... Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Somewhere both red and blue. And the other one is nearby a fireplace. I actually don't know where a fireplace might be. Try going
Coming to a
downstairs.
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze,
it's a
but
loop.
said nothing at all.
I remember
Strange,
this.
Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre
he ditched the
hallucinations
bucket.
Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd.
Shit.
Now he felt himself floating off the ground.
Eraser.
Oh, gracious. He
Oh,
exclaimed.
oh,
Without my
fuck.
bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Oh,
Could it truly be?
there's
He
buckets.
rushed forward from room
Hey,
to room,
there's so many
passing from
buckets.
One bucket after the next.
Oh,
None
fuck.
of them were his. None of them were his
There's-
special bucket.
They're all different though.
Stanley, find me. He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh shit.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself. My life kicks
Heck
ass.
yes.
And she backflipped all the way to work.
Backflips. Alright, we'll do one more. That was pretty short.
All of his co-workers were gone. What
Okay,
could it
that's
mean?
the standard line.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do this time is we're gonna take the
Coming to a
bucket
staircase, Stanley and the bucket
all the way to
walked
the mind control
upstairs to
facility,
the
but we're gonna
boss's
try
office.
using the escape. So one of the hints for the collectibles is somewhere that's both red and blue.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Oh, just one
You're
like
getting
standing
close
here.
now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anmarines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it.
Yay!
We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anmarines. None of us can.
Okay. I don't really remember what the escape route looked like, so this will be an adventure. The last one is something about a fireplace.
That read, Mind Control. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them. As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator. as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws.
A new
In a
voice.
single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death. It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Yeah, what happened to the bucket? I'm not holding it anymore. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like the bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within a cavernous void. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full, and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge is the bucket, and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn out here, or will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were in ignorance and darkness? I really dislike justified fonts or justified spacing. It bothers me so much. Especially the third to last line here. That kerning is horrendous. Anyway.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
This bucket is depicted as having two handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. Stanley Parable UltraDeluxe, more like Stanley Parable Bucket. Photograph of 25 buckets. It's definitely more than 25, isn't it? The greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. Surely there's more than 25 buckets. I don't really feel like counting the 25 though. Inferno bucket, in which the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains, no one can control a bucket. The stress bucket, an analogy. Okay. Presented without commentary. Nice. So you put all your worries, your negative forecasting, negative thinking, and lack of reassurance into your bucket, and that represents your stress. You cope by poking holes into it with a faucet, and that's through rest and relaxation, doing something you enjoy. I don't know. That hurts my head to think about. Oh. By the way, Canaris, in the original game, this was also still like a museum exhibit, but obviously it wasn't so bucket-centric. So this is interesting. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave's drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures. Oh no, there is a leak. We can use the bucket and catch the leak. Wow!
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
the hanging bucket. This place symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance inevitably is for our own good.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Who was that?
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Wonder what the input received is.
Ah, the embrace of an old friend, a weathered companionship that stands the test of time.
It might be that there are also additional endings if I don't bring the bucket with me. So far, I've brought the bucket with me to everything.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Somewhere both red and blue. That's the last one. I thought fireplace was the last one. Where is somewhere that is both red and blue?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's
No, there's
office.
this red, and there's this blue right here, but I don't know if that really counts. That was just the insanity ending.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Okay,
Was
so...
it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical.
Trying to think of what other things you can do right now. Okay, I've done the elevator ending. I can go to the mind control facility and I can choose to not power the system off. I can keep it on.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through
Oh
the
yeah,
large
there was
door
a
that
person.
led mind
If I take
control
this back up, I'll
facility.
see them, but I don't know if there's anything I can actually do about that? Question mark? I'm also kind of curious actually. So he tells me
Although
like,
this passageway had the word escape written on
I'm gonna
it,
run
the truth
not all the
was
way
that
down.
At the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
okay, for the second line.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. But of course, Stanley and the bucket thought better of it and realized they simply had too much to live for.
Alright, so there's this whole thing.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it.
He screamed into
His
the
own
bucket.
life in
I didn't catch
someone
that the
else's
first time.
Control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content.
Alright, so
Walking, eating, working.
turned everything
all of it
off last
monitored and
time.
commanded from this very place.
I'm gonna turn them on this
And
time.
as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this... But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Silly birds. This is so different. What the? Okay, see this one. Oh, hey, look, it's parrots.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another. And
Flamingos.
This wasn't a mind control facility at all.
Wait.
It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world.
Do you guys know that
The
birds
mind
aren't real?
controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Certainly an interesting ending. Alright, I'm gonna
All
not
his
take the
coworkers
bucket
were
with me
gone.
this time.
What could it mean?
See if that changes
Stanley
anything.
decided to go to the meeting room.
This will be
Perhaps
the
he had
last
simply missed a
one.
memo.
For today.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, it's still figurined. Bottom text. I want them so much. I want to go home. There will be cleaning of this wall required. Who are you? 666 LOL. I don't know what the red and blue thing is. Or employee 416 wrote these clues.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So I don't have the bucket. Will this just give me the old ending?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in
Looks
such a
like it's still
competitive
the
economy,
same,
why
like,
had he taken that risk?
infinite loop.
All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman...
Hey, it's Mariella again. No bucket this time, though.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself.
What if she had the bucket still? That would be interesting.
To go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
She ran. Nice, that was a good reminder of an old ending. Alright. I think we should be able to finish this tomorrow. But I'm gonna head off for now. So thanks for hanging out, guys. We'll hope you enjoyed the game, and we'll see more of it later. Ciao.